What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo. And before we get into this video, I just want to remind all of you that this is the last day for the baseball Vanessa roulette. So make sure that you do watch all these ads. Also make sure that you do collect the tickets from the event. Make sure you do all your dailies and collect all of these tickets. The next thing is we do have a fighter selector, and you can actually choose between Whip, Maxima, and K. K actually has a really great leadership for red fighters, 50% attack to red fighters. But Whip actually can prove to be very useful, especially against Immortal Vulcan, because she actually does have heals. I've seen teams that actually have been able to clear the 500 million against the Immortal Vulcan with Whip on the team. So she might be a character to think about. Maxima would be the last one that I would choose. And then we have this new Rush event. Now, in the Rush event, you're going to be able to get some gold hammers. You'll be able to get, rubies every day from playing this. You'll be able to get these capsules, gold, some experience balls, and this is all fine and dandy. But something you might notice is you can't get any special signature imprint stones in here. Now, something else you might have already noticed is that SS Mai and SS Athena are not in the banner. We don't have a dual banner. We just have a banner for SS Kyo and SS Iori. Now, this actually isn't a bad thing. The fact that they're not giving us any way to acquire the SS memories or SS stones, the imprint stones, other than the fact that we're going to get imprint stones from SS Iori and SS Kyo, the same way that we've acquired them from all of the new BS or SS characters that show up in the game. As soon as you get a memory for them, you wake them to 1 star, you get 1 imprint stone. Wake them 2 stars, you get 2 imprint stones, 3 stars, you get 3 imprint stones, and so on. And in a way, it's actually good because you can put all of your focus on SS Kyo and SS Iori. I kind of wish, though, it would have been a single banner for really all 4 of the SS characters, especially because of this right here. And I'm probably going to go on a bit of a rant because this is utter bullshit. You need 18,000 points to be able to get this SS memory, right? 18,000 points. You go to the event rules and you go to the earn points. So you get 2,400 points for getting a BS or SS character. You get 900 points for getting a FES character. Now, if you do the math, you would have to get 7 SS memories to get 16,800 points, which isn't even at that 18,000 point marker to get that memory. The chances of you being able to get these 18,000 points just from going to pity once, I know players that's already went to pity 1 time and they got 3,000 points, my friends. 3,000 points. So by that math, you would have to go to pity, what, 6 times? This is an RNG-based bullshit grab is what this is. This is ridiculous. Netmarble, why didn't you just give us a login event where we acquire memory like what we did with the BS banner? This is freaking ridiculous. This is RNG-based bullshit. So you're going to have to come into this banner and you're going to have to summon and summon and summon. Now, you can get dimensional invitation tickets and you can get points by doing that, right? You can go to your memories here, you go to Dimension Exchange, and yeah, you can get a dimensional invitation ticket that's going to give you 1,500 points. How many memories does everybody have lying around that they can use for dimensional invitation tickets? Maybe they got 3 memories or 6 memories. Maybe they got 9 memories that can make 3 tickets. It takes 3 of these memories to make 1 ticket. Maybe they got 9 memories to make 3 tickets, right? I'm a whale. This is a whale account. And yeah, I got memories I could use. And I've actually already made 1 dimensional invitation ticket, which is why I have these points already on the board. But the fact that most players are going to have to go in that summons, they're going to have to pull 4 characters and hope like hell that they get FES characters, hope like hell that they get the SS banners. And by the way, it's still a 0.6% chance to get Kyo or Iori, the SS characters. And you guys know how these banners have been lately. They have been horrific, right? A lot of people, they would go to the pity, didn't even get a FES character, didn't even get an SS character. The last 2 times that I pulled in these banners, the BS and the SS banners, with that 0.6% chance right up, I got 1 memory to pity. 1. That means when I get to pity, I get the fighter selector, I'll get another memory. Okay, so I got 2 memories. Now we got 4,800 points. Think about that. You're going to have to go to pity at least 3 times, which cost me and a lot of other players that didn't have enough rubies over $400 to do. Think about that. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely insane. And a lot of people don't have their rubies because we just pulled for the BS characters just 2 weeks ago. And then prior to that, we had the 7 Deadly Sins collab. So good job, Netmarble. And I'm being extremely sarcastic when I say that. This is a slap in the face to all of the players that play this game. This is a slap in the face to the whales that spent hundreds or thousands of dollars pulling on these banners. It's a slap in the face to all the free-to-play players that saved up their rubies and used them on the 7 Deadly Sins banner. Or maybe they skipped it and then they used them on the BS banner. And here 2 weeks later, you throw in this banner. Good job, Netmarble. Good job. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous that you guys did this. It almost makes me not even want to pull for these characters. Now, I'm going to have to calm myself down because I can feel myself getting pretty angry because I think this is absolutely ridiculous and it's a total bullshit. It's bullshit, guys. It is. But let's talk about Iori and Kyo and let's talk about their cards. Because this is actually the good side of it, at least if you have these characters. Now, the new card set actually gives you an extra 21% extra increase to attack. And you get an extra 13% attack from the bonus has 34% extra attack. And then it will increase damage by 10% for 8 seconds when landing an active skill on a 20-second cooldown. Not bad, pretty decent set. I don't think nothing too OP, especially compared to the Serena set. But the PvP exclusive, when an SS character is an attack, then it disables attackers' blast active skills for 3 seconds. That would have been a lot better if it was set active skills, but characters that have a lot of blast skills, it will be really good against. I mean, you got BS Orochi, who has 2 blast skills, his first and his second skill. It'll disable them, but it'll still have his hyper armor skill. So it's one of those card sets, like for PvP, it's just going to depend on the character that you're fighting. But still a decent fest card set, but I really wouldn't worry about it too much, to be perfectly honest with you guys. There's card sets already in the game that are good enough. And a lot of the OP characters can disable strike skills or disable active skills already in the meta. But it's still a decent card set. The 3 PGs, they're actually quite similar. Kyo's here obtains 10% power when using the skill. And then increased damage, PvP exclusive, increases damage by 10% to Orochi clan fighters. And Iori's is the same. And by the way, I love the artwork on both of these. It's the same thing. Obtain 10% power when using the skill. And then the PvP exclusive, extra 10% damage to Orochi clan fighters. Which is fine, right? Which is fine. And then we have the option card, which actually kind of reminds you of the SS Mai and Athena banner, where you get the extra attack, you get the cooldown, but you also get the increased attack by 13% for 5 seconds and grant super armor for 2 seconds. The difference between this and the SS Mai and Athena card is that card only applied to female fighters. This card actually applies to SS fighters. So it works on any of the SS, whether they're male or female. Now let's talk about the fighters themselves. So we'll start with Iori. So Iori is a purple balanced fighter, and he has the increased special signature fighter's attack by 50% and PG rate by 15%. Which signifies that he's going to be a really great leadership for SS characters in the Immortal Dungeons. The PG rate leadership is really, that's where it shines, is in the Immortal Dungeons, because having that PG rate is going to help build up your supers for all of your characters. That way you can stall the timer so you're able to do a lot more damage over time. And then you look at his core effect. He's got 30% PG rate. I mean, blast skill, strike skill, damage increase, crit rate increase. And then these last two core effects are the same as Kyo also. 30% chance to gain damage immunity for 3 seconds when attacked on a 15-second cooldown, which is going to help us survivability in PvE and PvP. And then becomes immune to darkness stun when Kyo is on the team. And then increase active skill damage to enemies affected by burn or darkness by 80%. And that's amazing for Kyo because he actually has darkness and burn. Or I'm sorry, for Iori because he has darkness and burn. And then the SS Volume 2s decrease all enemy power by 1% every 0.3 seconds when guarding. So whenever you're guarding, you're actually decreasing their power, like the new BS characters, Chrysalid and Nightmare Geese, and decrease the damage received by 70% for 3 seconds. When accumulated attacks received, guard included, reaches 5 times. So even when you're guarding and they attack you 5 times, you're going to decrease your damage by 70% on a 20-second cooldown. That's actually very strong. And then you look at his skills, and there's a lot of text here. It's ridiculous. But Iori's first skill applies darkness, or blackout as they like to call it. And it's a damage over time skill, and it also decreases power, which is crazy. And it has a 20% chance to reset the cooldown when using the skill. That's a very low chance to reset the cooldown, but okay, and it is a blast skill. The second and third skill are Strike and Blast. It's actually pretty crazy how similar these two characters are built, but his second skill is an interrupt skill, and it does have hyper armor, and the PvP exclusive disables the target's active skills for 4 seconds upon landing a skill. Now, if you're guarding against this skill, and it is a strike skill, they can't disable your active skills. However, they do have a grab. He does have a grab on his third skill. So if he's able to grab you and then they throw in the second skill afterwards, they're going to disable your skill. So it's something to think about. I mean, a good player is going to be able to optimize Iori very well, and he's going to be very deadly, especially in PvP. And then he has an increased attack by 35% for 7 seconds, 50% chance to reset the cooldown of the second skill. So you actually can reset the hyper armor skill, which is crazy. And then this skill also, the third skill, has a PvP exclusive where it has a 60% chance to remove the active buffs, remove super armor and hyper armor from Iori. I'm getting a bit tongue twisted, which is very, very strong. And then his default actually deals burn damage. So he has darkness on his first skill, and his default can actually apply burn. So he's going to be really good for the guild, for guild raid on hard mode and for expert mode. And his strike bonus actually offers active team members obtain 10% power. And we'll preview his skills. So the first skill, that's a damn fast skill, and it's a long range attack. And this skill can actually be reset from the third skill. First skill can actually be reset too, but it's only a 20% chance. Fast, my friends, and so far both the skills knock him up in the air, and then the third skill knocks him up in the air and well. And again, because it's a grab, he doesn't have ignore guard in his kit, but he's got a grab. So as long as the characters don't have super armor or hyper armor in PvP, you're going to be able to grab them. And in PvE, this skill will actually get canceled immediately. So when you hit it, it'll cancel immediately, just like what BS Chrysalid can do. And you'll actually be able to rotate through your skills pretty fast because of that. So yeah, something to keep in mind. And then his default applies that burn, as you guys can see. Really cool skill. Pretty long. It does a grab, like whenever you're in Immortal Dungeons and you do that grab, it will cancel. And the same for whenever you're going against Omega Ruga, although sometimes it might grab them. Okay, nice. Go on the next skill here. I like it. I do like it. He just gets nuts. He just gets nuts. And then the 3PG. Now this is a damn cool skill, because this is exactly what happened in the 97 story ending. And some of you are probably thinking, oh, it's a grab, Iori's grabbing him. Yeah, but Iori is still doing an animation in the background. And similar to how Goro is, Goro does a grab also on his 5PG. But because there's like a big bear that's he's throwing around the bear instead of grabbing the actual opponent, the skill keeps going on in the Immortal Dungeons. And I think it's going to be the same thing here. I think because Kyo's going to be in the background, now don't quote me on this, I'm not really sure because I don't have the characters, I haven't tested them. But because Kyo's in the background, I think that skill is going to carry on. And it is an amazing skill. This is a good thing about this update. I mean, look, he's an SS character, guys. He's got a lot of insane buffs. He's going to be damn strong. It's just, I mean, that's the bottom line. And then we got Kyo, who's a yellow attack. And that's a very big motivating factor for me. But then his leadership increased SS fighters' attack by 60% and decreased HP by 5%. So Yeah, great leadership for the SS fighters. That's absolutely nutso. And then you go, he has 30% PG rate, just like Iori. And he's got the blast and strike skill damage increase, just like Iori. He's got a blast skill, a strike skill, and a grab skill on his active skills. You can see that the other core effects are pretty much the same. 30% chance to gain damage to me for 3 seconds. I'm not going to read all this text, but it's pretty much the same thing. Big differences, though. For Kyo, he gets the increased active skill damage dealt to enemies affected by burn or starlight. And he does have starlight and burn, which is crazy, right? Both of these characters have double dot. And then his skill applies Infernal Flame on his first skill and decreases critical rate and defenses by 30%, which means he's going to do a lot more damage to those opponents. And this has a 20% chance to reset the cooldown. I mean, that's a low percentage of resetting the skill. And then the second skill is a interrupt skill that's also a hyper armor skill. And it also has an increased target damage received by 20%. And that's pretty massive, guys. It means he's going to do a lot of freaking damage. And then on his third skill, he has a 50% chance to reset the cooldown of his hyper armor skill, just like Iori. Like I said, there's a lot of similarities between these two characters. And then he also has a 60% chance to remove super armor and hyper armor. And he has an attack buff on the third skill. Yeah, pretty crazy. And then his default applies starlight. So just like Iori applies burn on his default, Kyo applies starlight on his default, which is nuts. And both of them are dot damage, and both of these dots last for 10 seconds. 10 seconds, which means whenever you apply that dot, it's going to last the whole time for 10 seconds. It's going to be very easy to switch to your other characters and apply a lot of damage while that dot's applied to the guild raid. It's crazy, guys. It's really good. And then the strike bonus, active team members to gain 10% power, which is actually really good. First skill, again, fast damn skill. Just like Iori. I mean, they're built very similar. There's some small differences, but very similar. I think that's going to be a somewhat of a range attack. This one here, I think it's going to be a short range attack. But all of these skills knock their opponents up in the air. Every one of them. Yep. So, yeah, just like Iori, which is great. Nice. Beautiful skill. And there's that starlight. Hoo-yah! I love it. I know that's not what he says, but I just like saying that. Nice. Pretty long skill. And then we go into the 3PG, which is beautiful again. And I see Iori in the background. And you just see Kyo, doing the big slam bam punch right there. And again, I don't think it's going to get canceled in the Immortal Dungeons. I don't think so. I think it's going to play completely out. So Kyo might end up being better than Mai, actually, for Guild Raid. I mean, they might be the two number ones. Should you pull for these characters? I mean, it's completely up to you guys. Obviously, if you love them, you should. I'm going to end up, I do have a total of 14,500 rubies. I will end up pulling them. I will do a summons on the Twitch stream later today at 9 p.m. GMT plus 7 time. The link will be in the description below. But, I mean, if you already have Mai and you already have, some of these BS characters. I mean, if you have Nightmare Geese and Chrysalid, you really don't need these characters. I mean, Kyo being a yellow attack, that's a big bonus in all honesty. But you really don't need them. That's kind of the thing about this. I am very happy with the characters. It is kind of wacky that we don't have SS Mai and SS Athena here, especially when they combine the BS banners together. Well, they didn't combine it, but they put them in the same update, but just had two different banners. Maybe Netmarble's trying to experiment, do some trial and error, and figure out what works the best for them. But one thing they shouldn't do ever again is this damn carnival. They should never do this again. There is already enough RNG as it is, just trying to get these characters and trying to get memories for them. And then throwing in something like this is just, it's too much, guys. It's too much. It's really total bullshit that they put this in here, and I hope they never, ever do this again. So I wish you luck on your pulls. So in a way, it's good that SS Mai and SS Athena is not in here, because if they were in here, they would have to give us a way to get the SS stones. And I would hope to God they wouldn't do like what they did with the BS characters with Rugal and Orochi, where we couldn't get the original stones. So in a way, I'm glad they're not in here, but I kind of wish they would be, because if they would just had a single banner, which I don't think they would do, it would have been a lot better. If they would have had a single banner with SS Mai, SS Athena, Kyo, and Iori, this carnival would have been a much better idea. It would have been much better for the player base. That would have gave us a lot better chances of getting these SS characters, especially since those are the ones that give us the most points. But even then, if they would have had all 4 of those SS characters available in one banner, I still think that carnival would have been total bullshit. There's just way too much RNG, and if they're going to incorporate something like that, they really need to put the chance of something fierce for us. But even then, I wouldn't want it, guys. They really shouldn't do this. They should just have a login event for these memories, like what they did for the BS characters. So let me know how y'all feeling about SS Mai and SS Athena not being in here. Let me know how you're feeling about the 2 new characters. And what do you think about this carnival? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT plus 7 time. The link will be in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.